Welcome to the channel. This is Geauxgreddy and welcome to the 2021 FIA Manufacturers Series here on Gran Turismo Sports. Tonight we are at Blue Moon Bay, Infield A, and we're in the Group 3 car. So I'm in the DBR9. I'm going to try my best to make it through this wild race alive. So stick around and check it out. All right, so as we open up here into qualifying, you can see I am ranked 19th in the lobby, so not too bad for trying to make some DR points, but not too great for trying to get a good placement. So we got a lot of fast folks in here. So heading to corner one, I was pretty happy with how I took corner one. I'm trying to get into the slipstream of Placa Plum and or Slow Cap there in front of me, and they are just tantalizingly out of reach of that slip. And I'm really hoping just to have an amazing corner at some point in here so I can slide into that slipstream and pick up a few precious tenths, because every tenth really matters here at Blue Moon Bay, Infield A. It is a pretty fast track, and with only around a minute 6, minute 7, minute 8 lap times, you see Andre Sav, a little problem there. You know, the times are really tight when it comes to qualifying. So here we are heading towards the last corner and want to get a good drive in this last corner and hopefully put in that good lap time. A little slow through there, so unable to get into that slipstream. So tantalizingly close. But yet so far away. So we head down towards the finish line. What are we going to cross with? Well, it is going to be a 107.461. So not bad, not terrible. Could have been a little bit better, but as you can see as we go into the qualifying, that puts me in qualifying position number 13 for the start of the race. All right, as the opera lady serenades you with her sweet melodic tune, we'll talk about this race. It is 28 laps, actually pretty darn long race, and some would say that it is a boring race because it's so hard to pass at this track. So what is the strategy? Well, with only, I believe it was 1 tire wear and 2 fuel, there is no pit stopping. It is a sprint to the end, so stay out there and just go for it. So that's what we're going to do. And for me, well, this turned out to be one of my more, I guess, interesting races. It was definitely interesting. So let's get to the start as we get that countdown. 3, 2, 1. Heading lap 1 starts me off in second gear, so I was really happy about that. That means I could possibly stay in the slipstream of Placa Plum. Now, I was behind him earlier in a practice race, and he was able to pull out away from me from the slip. So I was like, that Mustang in front of me is just not what I was looking for. Of course, that little bit of doubt creeps into your mind. You don't want that to happen, but it was there. And behind me, I have Chromatica Boy, who I've raced before as well. So both these guys, very good racers. No issues with either of them, as ASRT Missile goes wide in the grass. So I get a Greddy pass there to start the race. Another competitor did as well. So I slide up 2 spots to P11 to start the race. So pick up 2 quick positions, get on the brakes into the hairpin nicely. Just wanting right now, just wanting to stay in that slipstream of Placa Plum at the beginning of the race. Like I said, it is a long race, 28 laps. The goal is to stay in the slip and in touch with the group in front of me. I'm already struggling. That section of the slow track and the DBR9 they just did not go together, especially when this car had the fuel weight on it. When it had a lot of weight in it, it just really, really struggled in the slow sections of the track, especially with me driving. I don't know, maybe there's one of these crazy aliens out here that can make this thing work on this track. I was not that crazy alien. So I had to brake a little early there. You can see my brake mouse at 3 to the rear, trying to help me get some rotation on this big boy. So anything I can do to get it to rotate, because when you turn this thing, it's like it's got no front spoilers. You can see there as I go a little wide, get in the grass, and then I get tagged from behind by Chromatica Boy. He actually saved me there. Just nicked the grass. I throw on my caution lights to apologize to him for that little mistake, and now I feel like I owe it to him to catch the folks in front of me after nearly killing us both in that sharp left-hander. So let's fast forward just a little bit here and pick up the action. Lap number 4, heading down the straight. Got PSRT Placa Plum in front of me. I got Chromatica Boy behind me. In front of PSRT Placa Plum is Julian Passatore in the RX-7, which is not fast on the straight. So we're trying to run him down here. I was getting some buff draft from Chromatica Boy before, so I stayed to the outside instead of blocking the inside. So he slides down on the inside there, heading into corner 1. And he makes the move. He makes it stick, so hat off to him. Little rope-a-dope on old Greddy there, heading into corner number 1. But, it's only lap 5 of 28. Plenty of time to go, so I decided just to slip in here behind Chromatica Boy. We're in P12s. We're still one up on where we started, not doing too badly there. So let's fast forward now onto lap number 6. About the same spot on the track. Behind me now I have Bearded Midget all behind me. I'll tell you what, that BMW reeled us in quick. I get on the brakes just a hair late, make contact with Chromatica Boy. Don't want to push the pass, so I lift there, let him back in front of me. That does not help with my position with Bearded Midget behind me, as that reels him in nice and close as we head through the final corner. Now, I thought I had a pretty good final corner there and the slipstream, so I didn't think I was going to have any trouble at all holding back Bearded Midget. But I got to tell you what, that BMW, no slouch. I'm in the slip, and usually I'm just absolutely just blowing people away. So, unfortunately, that's mistake number 1. I give a bump draft to Chromatica Boy there. A little bit of return from the earlier laps, but what I really should have done is I should have sent it, because now, what I found was, I had a little better corner 1 than he did right there, and I ended up bumping him from behind again, and that allows the BMW of Bearded Midget to get beside me on the right-hand side. Now, he's got the inside hit in this corner, so I'm backing out there to let him slide underneath me. I don't want to lose too much time and lose another position to Andre Sav, who has now slipped in behind me in the Aston Martin. So, now racing off the back foot, but again, it's early in the race. In the practice lobbies, a lot of stuff happened in the race, and no telling. So lap 8, some action between Chromatica Boy and Bearded Midget. Mistake number 2, I should have went around here. Instead, I tap him from behind, and I could have probably stuck it down the inside right there, slid in behind Chromatica Boy, got back up into P12, but unfortunately, I did not. And that is going to cost me, I think, So 2 mistakes right there. I could have been on the tail of Julian Passatore, I think, right about now in the race, but didn't make that move early. So on to lap number 10. Get through corner 1, heading down into corner 2, and we got action going on in front of us. They are side-by-side racing, keeping us in it in here as the RX-7, I call it the RX-7, the Mazda Vision gets sideways. That rotary engine has me thinking RX-7. And then I get into the back of Bearded Midget again. Now, that was a mistake. I meant to pass him along the inside, but I missed my mark. So they're bumping a little bit there. Now, that allows Andre Sav to get around the outside of me there. So I know I got to keep it in tight, tuck it in tight. I give him a little room around the outside. He backs out of it, I think, because he had a little bump on me from behind there. So good job there by Andre. Some good, fair, clean racing. Andre and I have similar pace, so we usually end up somewhere near each other during these races at some point. But anyway, so heading down the straight, Andre has a really good run on me. Now, I'm curious as to whether or not he's going to bump draft me or go to the inside. I'm actually just trying to stay on the slipstream there, but it worked out for me to block the inside pass. He does give me the bump draft, but it really speeds me up, and I end up taking the corner too wide. Can't get back down onto the apex. So Andre able to slide underneath me, and I lose yet another position. So back into P14 on lap 11, 1 position behind where I started at P13. Not looking good for me here, but I'm not panicking yet. Lap number 11. P10 still in sight there. Now that's Chromatica Boy all the way up there, the guy that I should have passed at one point in this race and chose not to. But you know what? You just can't cry over spilled milk. You just got to keep on racing. So heading down the straight, DBR9 absolutely eating up the Aston Martin here down the straight. That's the V12 Vantage there. A little love tap there behind on me. Probably a little bit of a dirty move. Should have let him slip by. Coming back by, I noticed that on the replay. I didn't notice it when I was racing that I gave him that bump there. And yeah, that was my bad. That was totally my bad. I should have let Andre back through. But I didn't. So we got to keep going here with the race. Sorry, Andre. He gives me a little bump from behind there, heading into the hairpin, and he backs out again, not to do the bump to pass there. So, Andre being a better racer than Greddy at that point. So, again, hats off to Andre. And now heading into the final corner, I need to pull on Andre and get into the slipstream. These guys in front of me. Now, the Mazda Vision hits the wall slows him down quite a bit. Now, the Mazda isn't too quick on this straight anyway, so I'm able to slide right by him on the inside, heading down the long straight, easily put a gap on him, heading into corner number 1. And I make that pass stick fairly easily there. Now, he's pretty good in this corner 1, real fast through there. But I'm able to slide back into the slipstream of Chromatica Boy, who was in P10, just got passed there by Bearded Dragon. So they're switching places back and forth, allowing me to get back into the race. Super excited about that. Getting on the brakes here, heading to the right-hander. And this is where the DBR9 struggled, was in this very last section of the track. Brakes not real good on the DBR9. You can see me switching the brake balance to 1 to the rear from 3 to the rear just to try to get a little more braking force. And then something crazy happens. BMW comes back behind me. I end up getting pushed out wide as I'm trying to dodge him, and the Mazda Vision hits me out wide. Then I get hit by Andre and sent into the guardrail. Then I spin around, hit the guardrail, come back on track. I'm ghosted, and then P17, K-Funk passes me, and then ASRT Missile, who, if you remember, wrecked at the very beginning of the race, is able to slide through. Now, if you look again there, I'm trying to avoid hitting Chromatica Boy and the BMW, get hit from behind by the Mazda Vision, and then, unfortunately, with where I was on track, Andre came through and finished me off. As you can see here, he just hits me in the quarter panels. I'm not sure if this BMW is not ghosted. I don't know what the heck it's doing. It's something crazy, and then I get hit wide. The Dodge is able to miss me, but Andre was not. And then look at the BMW here. Mach 5,000 into the wall. Throw it reverse, baby. Yeah. Do the shake and bake. And then look at that. Right back out into P10. What a move. Love it. That really messed me up this race. Of all the things to happen. I mean, look, that was a really exciting race up to that point. And I don't think anyone was trying to race me dirty at any point up to that point. It was just a little bit of bumping here and there, and I thought most of the folks around me doing a pretty decent job. I was having a good time in the race anyway. So on to lap 15, I get down to the inside of ASRT Missile, make him adjust his line through corner 1, and I just want to keep it on the inside here, see if I can't make something happen, and I get lucky. He just goes wide there off in the marbles and then into the grass, and so I'm able to get a pass on the Missile. So heading on to lap number 16, I'm now firmly in the slipstream of K-Funk in the Porsche, heading down the long straight. This is where the DBR9 really makes its waves, is on this straight. So just eating up that Porsche heading down the straight, able to make the easy pass on the straight. That's typically what I was trying to do. If I could get on someone's rear bumper before the straight, I just stayed there and then tried to pass them on the straight. That was pretty much the easiest place to pass them. This was my other favorite passing spot, was right here, because you can make people adjust their line right here without being too dirty or hitting them or anything like that. So anyway, make the move stick. And now it's time to try and chase down P15. As you can see, I've cut down about 3 seconds on him as he goes wide, hits the wall, comes back on the track. And I'm looking for a way to get around him, but then I get hit from behind by the Missile. Then the Missile hits me again, knocks me off track. Now, that was an elbows out move. If I've ever seen one, now I understand it was an awkward situation, and so I didn't blame him too much there. But fortunately for me, the Mazda Vision hits him wide going through the hairpin. I'm able to sneak underneath and then around the outside, able to plant it there in front of the Vision and then slide in behind Missile heading towards the final corner. Going to take this final corner pretty well as long as I'm within 3 to 4 tenths of the car in front of me and they don't have the slipstream of anyone. There is very few cars that were going to hold off the DBR9. So one place, again, that this car did shine was this straight. That fifth gear was an absolute monster. So you'll see me eat up all of that gap to the DBR9. I'm going to send it down the inside because of that strong move he put on me earlier. And he just lets me. Now he tries to get the cutback here, and it almost worked, but unfortunately he couldn't quite tuck it underneath me, and he hits me from behind. Actually helps me out a little bit there. So heading down, he sends it from way back into the hairpin. I couldn't turn in onto my apex because he was there. And then Julian Passatore hits him from behind and really pushes him through to complete the pass. Now, I go underneath Julian Passatore here. I did not make contact with him. He actually just lost the rear end going in there, as you can see right here. He goes into the corner. I do not touch him. His rear end just comes out, and I slide right underneath him. That's a good, clean pass by Greddy there. I was racing Julian in clean. Even though he bumped me and all that incident that happened to BMW, it was in awkward situations. It's so hard to race real clean, and when there's weird things like that pop up, because you're trying to make a pass and you're not really sure what the other drivers are going to do. So, I've raced Julian Pastore quite a few times, and I've never had any issues with him. So, trying keeping it clean. Trying for a comeback here on lap 27. Trying to get back into 15th position. I'm a second and a half behind coming in the last corner now. I'm eating up some time on this straight here. So I'm like, if I can come around corner 1 and be within a second or close to a second, I might be able to apply a little bit of pressure, maybe get in the slipstream. Maybe something can happen. So I come into corner 1. I have a really nice corner 1 this late in the race. Tires are worn out. It was pretty decent, and I was like, well, it's not good enough. But then P15 hits the wall, so you can see the time differential dropping between him and I in the left-hand corner there. So now I'm within that second that I wanted, and coming through this corner, he goes wide, gets into the grass. I actually get a tiny bit of grass myself, scrapes the wall a bit. Now, I know he's got dirty tires. I've done this before in the practice race. He's not going to be able to make this hairpin, and I knew that, so I broke just a tad early so I could get down that inside. Now I know his tires are still dirty for this next corner, so I'm going to stand on the inside no matter what, and it works perfectly. As he goes wide, I slide underneath him, tries to cut back underneath me, but hits me from behind. I make the pass stick on the final lap from 1.5 back through the mistakes of Missile. Heading down the final straight. P13 to P11 to P18 back up to P15. It was a wild race. So I'm able to pull off a P15. I was sweating. I couldn't handle this race anymore. GBR 9. It was interesting here, but it wasn't the greatest combo for me. So anyway, take that P15, 109 points, and I run away fast. So hope you enjoyed the race. If you did, hit the like and or subscribe. Come back, check out some more of the action. For all the folks that raced in this race, thank you. I really did enjoy the race. I had a fun race. Again, appreciate y'all watching the video and the support that you give the channel. I hope that y'all all have a great evening. DJ Clean, take us out of here.